Hello and welcome to Dell's Gaming, and this is from the Depths Designer, and I've got this will be a quick little video, just an update and a little bit of some fleet ideas so that I'm having to maybe have a bit of a discuss on or potentially what you think. Anyway, first of all, I'm not sure when you're going to get this video. If it is Saturday, then possibly I'm actually in a plane flying to my other location where I'm going to be away for quite a while. So I'm taking actually a whole PC, graphics card and everything with me. I'm going to set up a computer where I am. So I'm going to be enjoying myself whilst building things in from the depths. So there could be a bit of a week or so whilst I get the machine all set up and internet connection and everything set up. Before I can put some videos out. I was hoping to get a load done before I went away, but with what happened in both the campaign as well as the adventure mode, I've got a lot of building of fleets to go ahead. So I wasn't really able to get any extra videos done, and also I was busy getting ready to go away for an extended time. But what I've got in this video is just a quick little look at some ideas, the start of some ideas for the adventure mode, and just comments and ideas. So first of all, we've got this is going to be a new battleship, and this is going to be specifically for going against the White Flayers initially, and longer term maybe push that into the Lightning Hoods. Maybe the lasers may require a little bit of a change, etc. So the basic idea is I'm going to have 4 types of ships. There'll be the battleship. So we'll go through the battleship first. So this will be the battleship size, and its main job is taking damage, taking the hits from the White Flayers or whatever ship they've got coming in. Very defensive, and having a big boom. Now for the big boom, now I'm still sort of basing this on ships from the Kaiserliche Marine, so we're going up to dreadnoughts now. So this is the armament's going to be based on here on a Koenig battleship. So it's got 5 turrets. I've only got 4. I haven't done the last super firing turret down here. 5 twin 12-inch, which if I can bring it up, I've decided on weaponry for the big guns against the White Flayers to go for an armor piercing but with an EMP back end, so that these can actually go through about a metal block, a bit more than a metal block, metal and a half or 2 alloy, but they've got a good EMP strike on them, which I think would be good against some of the White Flayers. The turrets turn quickly. They're not brilliant turrets because I've got weight problems, so we've got a reasonably defensive top cap to it, but underneath we're straight into the ammo to be able to fit everything in the height I want. It's not 100% armoured as I'd like, and I'm going to work on the armour a little bit as the build goes through. So the main armour on the side of this, so that's going to be the main guns. Then secondary guns, we're going to have these are 170mm, I think, yeah, 150mm, so 6-inch guns. We're going to have, there's 4 in casemates here, and I'm going to put another 2 on each side in turrets, so they can actually fire a bit forward, downward, etc. So a little bit more angle, possibly somewhere around here on a little platform that sticks out for those. So they'll be the secondary guns, which are the medium range guns. These are only to fire at the big ships. These will fire at anything at longer range but smaller ships. And then I'm going to have some small guns on this, which will be the 3rd level of offensive weaponry, which will be a load of 88s, 120mm, somewhere around that. Small, fast firing, designed for anything that's close, high rate of fire, you know, yeah, mainly sort of AA small ship weapons, etc. So they'll be on there. And then the other side is the defensive side. So defensively, armor wise, now at the moment this is flying quite nicely with an armor on the initial side, which I'll try to get it so it flies at the same level as the whoever it's against. So most of the armor will go against here or above. So we've got one metal block. We then have a metal rod, which I might change for a metal sorry, an alloy rod, but for the moment we'll leave it as it is. And then an alloy block. So, you know, that's going to be a beam, sorry. So I might change that for a metal beam inside and an alloy rod, just to change the dynamic there. And on the top we're putting some metal slopes, but I might back them up with an alloy block in these upper levels on the upper side if weight allows it. So I'm gonna have to wait until I'm near completion and I'm making sure this is still floating. It's floating with the main guns almost in without problems, and I haven't finished the front and the rear, where I'm gonna get some more ballast from to keep it flying. Basically, this is going to be quite big. At the moment, what we got at the moment, we got 100. Let's see, it's going to be a lot of blocks, but length 140. It's going to be a bit more than that by the time I've finished. It's quite wide. I've gone for that wide design. I quite like that. So yeah, I'm going to have a bit of a work. I'm going to put some. I need to look at power systems, because weight is important on this. So I'm going to have a little look to see whether it's better to have the steam engines that I've been using just for simple power, steam turbines with batteries. Now my thought with batteries is that batteries are quite heavy per block. That's 45 weight per block. Which makes them quite, well, heavy, quite simply. Whereas, where are we? Steam engine is boilers, relatively okay, small turbines there. Some of these turbines, let's see, 40, yeah, and they are quite heavy. Depends how many blocks of batteries I need. Whereas a small gearbox, cranks are fairly light, gearbox heavy, piston is very heavy, but the actual number of blocks I need for a small gearbox or a medium gearbox potentially is less. I need to check on the size. And then finally, obviously, we have got the old engines, fuel engines. Where are we? 30. So fuel engines are going to be slightly lighter, but I'm going to need more blocks to get to the power levels I potentially need, unless I keep the power low. If I keep the power low, then I'm not putting shields on this, but I want to have the ability in the future to potentially put some shielding on this so it's more effective against the lightning hoods. That would be, or even the ring, mostly be planar shields. So putting some planar shields on this for against the lightning hoods, which means I'm going to need a few thousand power, which is then considerably increase the battery size or fuel engine size. Anyway, I'm going to have a look into those. That's the idea, and that's my battleship, hopefully working against the White Flayers. Any comments? Be gratefully appreciated. So I would say I hadn't really finished on that. On defensively, I'd done the armor, but this will have a lot of anti-missile systems and decoys. Having looked at what happened with that last write, I realised that as someone did put down, potentially decoys will work. So if I put some like medium-sized decoys dropping out the bottom, and then some small and medium-sized interceptors being fired potentially out of points out the top as a vertical, as well as some of those little turrets I have strategically placed on the I'll have to see where I'm going to do, either on the top in the center, or maybe put them each side along these areas, or yeah, basically some little turrets, but also some medium-sized ones for longer range. We'll see how we work on that. So that's the battleship idea. Now the other one I've got sort of half built is my new destroyer. It's quite big for a destroyer. I've upped the size considerably. This is almost like cruiser size, but I've kept that. I liked that idea of the little sponsons. It's now have some APS guns in here rather than the simple weapons, fast firing guns, some fairly small. They're going to be the weapon of for most ranges. I'm then going to make it basically a missile boat. It will have some of the right head torpedoes, maybe a couple of banks of 3. So that's going to be its medium range, heavy hit against slow and surface or big surface targets, etc. like that. And then possibly have the smaller one, which is a guided missile against higher speed small targets close in. So it's going to use radar guided against big targets, and a remote guidance small missiles against close range targets. Armor on this very minimal, just an alloy block. That's all. This is going to be fast. At the moment, with the propeller on the back, it gets just over 40 meters a second. But this is going to have a slightly different. It's going to have a booster. That's what these big nacelles are. And in keeping with everything I'm doing, it's using steam thrusters. So with these steam thrusters, and I'm going to have them kick in at certain ranges. Like if an enemy gets too close, it will kick in so it can try and get away from the enemy. Or if it's far away, it will use these to get in close. Hopefully that makes sense. So it's going to have an ideal range where these turn off, and outside of this ideal range, these little thrusters will each give about well, it's difficult to say. They actually give about 5,000 thrust. So yeah, they will accelerate this up to about, at the moment, just over about 90 meters a second, which is good for which is okay. Obviously big steam, big old jets would make this go faster, but I'm working to keep it on in the steam idea, so I thought this would be fun. It also means this can go higher. The steam allows it to go above the normal 275 meter limit, which we have with just helium. So that's the plan for this. Obviously some more weaponry, but this is going to be what also someone put down is the high speed ship. So it's going to get around by being quick, getting away from enemies, firing its missiles, and it'll be mainly attacking the higher speed flying vehicles as a priority, getting rid of those. So anything fast it will go after, anything high it will go after, and then it will go in and attack the bigger ships, whereas the battleships going after the bigger one. Then the other one, which I haven't started building, but as I said, this was just the one I started working on recently, having a bit of a muck around with these jets, how I could get them to work for me. So the other side will be cruisers. I'm going to go for this sort of design, somewhere between the battleship and this design. So 2 cruisers, a light cruiser, which is going to use speed, be fairly small, most probably not much bigger than this. Little bit of armour, using a bit of metal. It's mainly going to be a support vessel, doing repairs, lots of smallish guns and some torpedoes, but it's basically a in between ship, doing the scouting type of functionality, able to take on the small medium type of White Flayers, and then there'll be a heavy cruiser. So yeah, the heavy cruiser is going to be my damage DPS. Lots of guns, not necessarily having much armor like the battleship, primarily focused at getting DPS out using APS guns and a few missiles, but it's going to be high. Yeah, maybe possibly putting something like these 150 mils, maybe a bit bigger, 170, 180, somewhere around that, and basically having it fire fast. Gets in, does a whole load of damage very quickly on a ship, then moves on. That will be the heavy cruiser way of doing it. So I'm going to have these 4 types of ship, all based upon this Zeppelin functionality. The heavy cruiser could almost be classed as a battle cruiser, except I'm not going to put battleship size guns, so it's more like a true heavy cruiser, armored cruiser sort of design, not using the big guns of the battleship though. It's going to be using cruiser and or somewhere in between. So yes, it'd be, I think I'd class it as a heavy cruiser rather than classing it as a battle cruiser. Anyway, that's the thoughts. Hopefully I'm flying, enjoying a meal, and trying to get some sleep on a plane, and waiting to see what happens when I get to my destination. But as I say, I won't be putting any videos up for, hopefully by next weekend I would have got everything sorted, fingers crossed, and then I'll be back to putting up some videos and getting these builds done. I also, hopefully again on fleets, is the ideas for the adventure mode, whether I mean, the thoughts, haven't had much thoughts on it, but my thoughts are still the merchant fleet has been a good little, people like that idea, so I think the merchant fleet is still going to be the idea. It's just about whether I make my main ship then a merchant, or move over to a carrier. I'm looking at a hybrid carrier is my second favourite. So number 1, big merchant ships we got to protect with a few small ones, or medium-sized merchants. The other one is having a hybrid carrier. Anyway, that's it for now. So sorry for the short video and not much of interest, just me talking about what I plan to do rather than showing you what I have done. But I'm just after thoughts and comments specifically against the White Flayers. So it looks like I think the way forward for that last right is decoys, interceptors, and some high-speed ships. Let me know. Otherwise, as always, keep playing the game and have fun.